All right, troops. Al, my man, great to have you on. How you keeping, buddy?
Yeah, good mate. Good yourself.
I am not too bad. I'm not too bad. I was debating whether to put on the house coat or not because it's starting to get that chilly Baltic way into it.
Yeah, no half man. It's I don't really feel the cold or anything like that. Like I went to work the other day with like no jacket on or anything, and folks thinking I was crazy. But I just started getting I don't really feel it. I
Oh,
don't
I've
really
got
feel
to
it.
ask. I've got to ask. Are you the guy that wears shorts?
No, I'm not that bad.
Right,
No,
right. That's
I've
good.
walked by people with shorts and I thought, nah, that's a bit too much for me.
Yeah, I know because it's quite funny because I've started doing that cold water dipping, like to kind of
Oh,
help my mental health and stuff. Well, and people just look at you like you're absolutely bonkers because just see you. Like, I'm basically wearing like this. It's like a hooded kind of bathrobe thing. It basically looks like if I was rejected for Hufflepuff. Well, and they just look at me like I don't know where to applaud them or give them change.
yeah.
Well, it's
That's
absolutely
is it good?
yeah.
Is it good? Does it help?
Yeah, it really does. Like, see the buzz that you get off of it afterwards. Like, it is like a natural high. But I made
Aye.
the mistake of doing my very first one just before I was going to do a comedy gig at Junkyard. Well, and my set realised me being a dour-faced bastard.
Yeah.
So I'm walking like, what? Yeah. Well, they're all like, what the hell is this guy been smoking? And I'm like,
Aye.
waterfalls, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, well, enough about me and my madness. We're here to talk about you and your madness, or your origin story, as we call it, because the one thing that people love and we all have in common is an origins. So, Al, for my faithful followers, tell us your origin story.
Well, I do stand up, like not doing it professionally or anything like that. Not yet, anyway. Fingers crossed. But I started doing stand up about 2 years ago. I had
Nice.
like a break in the middle of it when my youngest was born because she didn't sleep.
Yeah.
So something had to give, and unfortunately, you can't send the wains back. So I had to kind of take a step back for the.
Here's a trick for you, bud.
holidays.
You can't send the wains back, but you can find another place to live.
Yeah.
No offense to my wife and kids. I love you when I get to see you, but yeah. It's dark humor. You'll learn that about me.
Yeah. I didn't know whether to laugh there or no, but
It's great. It's great when you do something like that because look, they'll look at me and they're like, "Do I laugh at that? Do I cry?" And I'm like, if I'm bringing it up, it's okay to talk about.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Right. So what got you into stand up like in the first place? Did you watch stand up at a young age and think, "Oh, I want to give it a go," or what was your kind of process with it?
Well, kind of growing up, I was always always kind of had Billy Connolly and that on in the house. Like my auntie was mainly my auntie and uncle. They were really into him. So because they can show you because I'm not like their wains, so they can kind of show me the stuff that I'm not really meant to see.
Yes.
So that was the kind of beginning. Was kind of Billy Connolly, and then it moved on to like Peter Kay and stuff like that. That was I know he's kind of looked down on a bit now for his comedy and stuff, but I've always kind of liked him. And then
at the time, he was a revelation. Well, I mean,
yeah,
I remember my dad did not shut up about that garlic bread line for about 6 months.
Yeah.
To the point where he kept saying, I brought my mate on holiday and he was saying it so much that when I actually said it to my mate when we came back, when we went back to school, he pinned me up against the wall and was ready to lamp me. This is the calmest guy you could ever meet. And all of a sudden he went Hulk over the words garlic bread.
Yeah, it's a bit much, but that was really the kind of start of it.
Yeah,
sort of family and stuff, and then to be honest, even now, I don't really watch a lot of stand up unless I'm like, I don't really watch it in like DVDs or anything like that. Like I love going to like a night of it.
Yeah,
and seeing kind of people that I aspire to be. Like went and saw like Susie McCabe and Connor Burns and stuff
brilliant.
like that. Yeah, they're all phenomenal, and you're watching them. And it's kind of off-putting as well at the same time. You're like, how am I going to get there? You know? But no, I'd prefer to kind of like go out and kind of watch local people and up and comers, as they say.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the case of like get in early so that when they do ascend, you go, yes, I knew them. Because I do that
Yeah,
with,
user support.
yep, Chris Thorburn.
Yeah.
It's like I went to theatre school with him when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like, and even back then, you knew he had that humor about him and that talent. Like, so it's like anytime I see him, like his name pop up for headline and things, I'm like, I used to call him my wee brother, my wee American accent brother. It's like, it was brilliant. He used to crash at my house, and then when I went to his house and it was a fucking mansion, I was like, "What the hell have you been slumming it in one haw?" Like his parents were both teachers, like, and they looked after their money, And I just remember the day I went to his, and I remember phoning him, and I was like, right, if I don't know where we are, we're just in this. There's like this bit, and there's loads of big houses. He's like, yeah, you're in the right place. And I'm like, okay. Went in, and he's like, oh, come on in. It's like, so like, this is the first living room, and I'm like, you have 2 living rooms.
Aye, I've noticed that. You're some living rooms.
Yeah, it was when I found out they had 2 bathrooms. I'm like, hold on, so I could shit myself and not need to worry. This is amazing.
Aye, that's
like, yeah. And Chris has been on the show before as well. Obviously, like, I'm very good friends with his family. So if Chris's mum is watching, Jean, you know that I still love you. Even though I've been like two living rooms and 2 lavies. Yes.
I've just got booked on a gig with Chris. Actually, he's
nice one.
He's MCing one in Ayrshire. It's Billy Kirkwood's headlining, and I'm opening, which is it's my first ever opening slot that I've managed to get. So it's
brilliant.
It's an opening for kind of Billy Kirkwood. It's mental, man. It seems to all be going in the right direction.
Yeah, that's brilliant, man. Well done. So, what was your first gig? Do you remember your first?
Yeah, Junkyard it was.
Yes. That's the one that I literally just ticked off the bucket list. That's the one I told you about.
Yeah, I was actually meant to come to that night, and then just tired and stuff like that, and then is that the one Rory Spence headlined?
Rory Spence headlined it, and as usually delivered. Oh my god, he was just amazing. Like him and Chris Ashworth, Ellie Henderson, like she's my new one, like she's one to watch as well.
Nice.
Obviously John Carruthers, like being John Carruthers, like there's no stopping that guy. He's amazing.
No.
And again, like he's been on the show before, so he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So and Dan as well, Dan McPherson. So it was a really good lineup and a really good show, and it was that way I was like, I am so out of my fucking depth here.
Well, I think the last gig that I done there, it was Jojo Sutherland was emceeing it, Gary Little was opening it, and Roscoe McClelland was closing it, and I was in between them. And it was and it was like imposter syndrome was through the roof. Like I thought they've booked the wrong person. Like, but the guy who's running the night got back to me after it and says that he'll speak to me about getting me back next year and stuff. So it must have went well, but it was
it must have went well. I've had absolutely fuck all.
You know,
it's like, you know how when everybody says, like, you know, when you do the stand, they're like, you have to do the stand and then you wait for the feedback. It's like a rite of passage. I did the stand and I got nothing back.
No.
And then they were like, you know, you have to chase them up, and I went, I'm a fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, it was a great experience, but like, I think my ego is a bit too fragile right now. I can just say I've done it, and then I'm around. So your first one was at Junkyard. Like, how did you find it when you first did it?
It was absolutely nerve-wracking. And then I got a good feedback. It was a lot of laughs and stuff like that. I've got it recorded on my phone. I don't record a lot of my gigs, but I recorded my first one, and a lot of it did kind of go down well. I don't know if there's any that I still use actually from the first one. I don't think there is. But no, it was it just kind of caught the bug after that. My first gig was there on the Tuesday, and then I done Salsa on the Wednesday. So I just kind of first gig was quickly followed by the second one. So first gig went well. The second one didn't really, but we live and we learn.
That same thing happened to me. Like, cause I did McCool's during the comedy festival. Well, not this year, but the year before, and it was Jimmy. The first night I smashed it. I was only meant to do it one night, Second night, Jimmy asked me back, and I took a panic attack, and I couldn't remember the rest of the night. It's like I just remember like 1 minute I was just about to go on stage, and the next thing I remember was me like lying in my wife's arms, crying my eyes out, and I'm like, how the fuck to get home? Just couldn't believe it. It was it was really, really scary. Well, but not sadly been prone to them before, but yeah, like any of the festivals that you've done yet? This is something I'm kind of going to try and find out for all the comedians, like what festivals they've done and what their preferred and all that stuff.
So I've done the Glasgow International Comedy Festival 2 years. The first year I done it was that night at McCool's with you. That was the first time I met.
Yep, that was indeed.
And then I done, what was it? Longhugh's Drunk Debates night.
Yeah.
I've done nice that last year, I think, and then this year I've done the Fringe.
There you go.
I've done my.
That's another bucket list ticked off for you for the Fringe, my friend. Well done.
Definitely. That was because I got offered it. It was part of Sucky Hall Comedy Club, Kyle Samuel and Peter Bell.
Oh, nice one.
And they had like a free slot, a free night. It was a Tuesday. I think it was the middle Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I mean, if somebody comes to you and said, "Do you want to do the Fringe?" I mean, it's you do it. You know what I mean? As terrifying as it was, and I didn't know if people were going to come and see me, but. No, it was brilliant. It was really
in fairness, like I got asked to do the Fringe this year. I said yes, and then I took a mental breakdown. So it was like, yeah, I'm aiming for next year. Next year's my bucket list of trying to get to the Fringe and get it ticked off. But how did you find it? Like, like as a newcomer, like coming to it for your first time?
Doing it was, I mean, I love the Fringe anyway. I would come as a fan most years before the kids, so I've always loved it. And then obviously get up there at this time was also me doing it, which was handing out flyers was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. Like, I mean, that's maybe a stretch, but it's not nice at all, man. You're just you're handing them out, and like sometimes the nicest thing somebody can do is ignore you. You're getting like told to fuck off and everything, and it's not a nice experience, but once I got the people through the door, eventually.
Yeah, I can understand that, man. It's a side of that everybody thinks that, you should be able to sell yourself for it because you're going on the stage and doing it. And these people, it's like they don't get, unless you're a performer, you don't get the mind shift that you've got to try and do for that. And it's right out your comfort zone.
Definitely.
So I can sympathize with that, man. I really can. Like, it's what it is, an absolute nightmare to do. And how did you find like doing like the Fringe, especially like as we've said, like you've got a young family as well? What were they? Was like your partner excited for you? Were like, you kind of got Wayne's looking after that kind of way?
Well, my wife's she's always been really supportive, and she always wants to kind of say me go out and do it because she knew that the main reason that I took this up was for my mental health and stuff. So she's always really, really supportive. But it was only the one day at the Fringe, so I'm not kind of brave enough to do the full run or anything like that. So it was just the one day, so it was fine. And my sister-in-law actually came because she stays in Edinburgh, so she brought a couple of pals, so to kind of fill the room a bit, which was good. But no, always really supportive.
Yeah, well, I'm very confident that you'll be able to do more nights at the Fringe next year, buddy, because I performed alongside you. I know your stuff's good. And if that was you, like saying, no, you were just trying things out and getting used to it and stuff, like you were brilliant. You've got a really good stage presence. You've got that kind of assurance about you. I know that some people will look at it and maybe go, he's overconfident, blah blah. No, you had the right amount of presence about you that you can deliver a line, you can deliver a joke really well. Like I was pissing myself laughing. Like seriously, man, like you were really, really good. That's why I actually thought you were doing it longer.
Yeah. So the McCool's was sort of might have been about 5 months in or something like that. So I think it was for September. Done my first gig in September, and then that would have been March. So
yeah. So what made you finally like decide to do it though? Like, because obviously you'd liked comedy, like you kind of had the same route as like myself as well. You'd watch Billy Connolly, Peter Kay, you'd watch the stand up, you'd admire it, you'd think about doing it, and maybe something kind of puts you off. But what gave you that final push to go for it?
Lockdown, really, in a word. It was just kind of being told that you can't do anything. Like, if that never happened, I don't think I would have tried comedy, because it was basically being told, like, you need to stay here, you can't move, you can't, we tell you when to move. And it just really annoyed me. And I thought, when I'm back out of this, I'm going to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And it's worked out pretty well. So that was, I just got that. I've always wanted to do it, really. My brother done it when he was just out of school. So I think I can't remember what age he was, but he'd done it, and that kind of held me back a bit at the same time, because I kind of thought, like, people are going to think that I'm copying him. It's so that kind of held me back. But it was lockdown gave me the final push to do it.
Well, you wouldn't need to worry about like the copying aspect. I mean, I kind of understand it, because like my brother does a Transformers podcast, a Transformers show, but it's under my media company, like Ginger Transformer, in case anybody does want to check it out. Well, you always got to put the plugs in, mate.
Of course.
But like it was something like, I saw my brother struggle with his mental health over the kind of like the year before, like after my kind of wee blip, and he was like not sure what he could do to kind of get himself back, and I was like, you're a massive Transformers fan, like to the extent that I am a Thomas the Tank Engine fan. I was like, why don't you do something about it? Because he used to write like fan fiction, that kind of stuff. He fell away for that, but he knows it inside out, back to front. And he was like, I wouldn't know where to start. And my sister-in-law, who is not my biggest fan, in fairness, even said, well, if only you knew someone related to you that runs a fucking media company. Well, I just burst out laughing. I was like, subtlety a brick to the face, but that's all right. And now he's doing it, like, and he probably never would have done it if I hadn't went, all right. So you probably was the same kind of deal with your brother. You're like, he's went out and done it, so at least I know I can give it a try.
It kind of made it more accessible. Just because of him doing it and things. Like, he done the Fringe for a week, I think it was, maybe 2 weeks, and he was doing like a compilation show, and that was his last ever gig. He just kind of stopped enjoying it, and never kind of went back to it. But he's made like short films and stuff like that as well. He's an award-winning short film maker by like a small kind of Scottish company. But he's always been kind of a bit of an inspiration for me to try it out, to be honest.
Brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. How long did he do stand-up comedy for?
I think about 2 years, I think. Yeah, it would be roughly about the same. Like he used to do gigs a lot with kind of like Gareth Waugh and Gareth Much and stuff like that. So he kind of sees them and how far they've came and how kind of big they are now. And I think he kind of regrets it sometimes, but at the same time, like, he says even the thought now of going back on stage, he just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, so, but like you say, the stuff that he's went on to do, like, he's done his, like, like the screen and all that kind of stuff. Like, do you think that could potentially be something that you would go down if you had the opportunity for it, or are you content with the stand-up thing, for the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of thought of it. I think everybody's got like an idea for like a story in their head. Somebody, you've got a film or you've got a TV show that you think would be a good thing to do. But that is something I've always kind of considered, even before doing stand-up. I was always kind of good drama and stuff at school, and I've always been that imaginative, which is helpful doing stand-up and that as well.
Definitely.
But
what was your first acting role then? I've got to know, just because for someone that treaded the boards himself.
It was, the first big one was in school, playing Dobbin in the Puss in Boots musical.
Oh, nice.
I had a singing solo at the age of 11, 12, and your voice is kind of cracking and things, a lot of high notes in it. So it was pretty horrific, but I think it was really enjoyable, just kind of singing when your voice is kind of breaking away and that was me being kind of comic relief. Yeah. So I was actually on stage telling, not my own jokes, but kind of making people laugh, which I've kind of always done. I've always been kind of interested in doing that, so I don't really know why it's taken me as long to get into kind of stand up.
Yeah, but that's probably like how you know that you've got like a presence to make people laugh, because it is one thing. is one thing writing your own stuff and making people laugh. I know how difficult that is. But at the same time, when you've got like material from someone else and you have to interpret that to try and get a laugh out of an audience, or try and use whatever, like if the line itself maybe isn't funny, but you use a facial expression or a way of performing it to do it, that's a skill in itself. Because I was always kind of lumbered with, like, you know, the comedic roles. And then at first I was like, we don't think I can actually act. But then it was that, and then I started thinking, then I thought it's more of a compliment, because it's harder to make people laugh than it is to be serious.
Yeah, definitely.
So they can definitely understand that. And yeah, I sympathize with you in the solos front as well. Like I had to do played Jesus in an Easter play when I was 8. And the only reason that it happened was because my best mate flung me under the bus, which was ironic because he was playing Peter. So he basically said, like, you should go for Jesus, like you're a good singer. And I'm like, no, I don't know. He's like, right, we'll audition together. We'll audition together, and then whoever gets it gets it. And I was like, fair dues. And just as we went up to piano, he just went, I can't do it. Andrew's better. And I was like, you words I can't say till lunchtime.
Yeah.
But yeah,
again, it's people just kind of forcing you into doing it and kind of giving you the push into it.
Aye, it's a sink or swim moment. Definitely. And yeah, I was the same, because I was so nervous. Like my voice kept kind of going like up and down and stuff. Like, so anytime like I looked back at the video that my mom filmed, I was like, oh my god, just put that away.
Yeah.
But it's addictive though, because you become like a wee star of your class for a day, don't you?
Yeah. I would like even when I was doing like kind of talks for English, you had to go up and talk about like a book or whatever. Well, I would always be kind of funny during that as well. So
yeah.
Did you
ever write poetry?
Not unless I was forced to. No. I think. Well, in fact, I got in like a poetry book type thing. Well,
that's what I was wanting to ask you about, because you're about the same age as me. Was it like was it the young writers books?
Aye. Yep.
Yes.
So what it is my brother ended up in it, but he had stole a poem off me. So I forgot I wrote. I did actually write poetry. I forgot about that. But he stole a poem about, it was like a boy running away, and the furthest they got was the shed. You know, it was just like a wee kind of funny. Then he submitted that as his own and got in the book. So in a way,
bastard.
Yeah, I've stole one of his jokes, so it's
there you go.
Swings and roundabouts.
Exactly, man. But no, because I did the young writers as well. And I was published for 2 years in a row. And I remember, again, it was primary 6 was the one where everybody was like, hold on, he's actually talented at stuff, let's pal about him. Then they realized I was fucking mental, and they were like, no, let's just leave him alone again. But I'd get sent away to do an errand or something, like, you know, that one of those ones, take this pen to primary 1 or whatever, just something really stupid, and I didn't know why. And I came back in, and the teacher was reading something to the class, and it wasn't until a couple of lines near the end I went, that's my fucking poem. And they all just turned round to me, and because she just went, this is a really good poem, you should learn from Andrew. And all of a sudden it was like swarm over me. I'm like, holy fuck, what did I do here? But yeah, it went from being that until then I got to high school, and they'd reached out to people to do like another book for what some of the writers were experiencing in high school. And I was like, oh, cool. That'll mean like my mate Billy or Fraser, blah, blah, blah. Like some of the other guys have got it as well. And I had one that I wrote a couple of years back, and I thought, right, I'm just going to put it in. Off it went. So I said to them about it, and they were like, what poem thing? I was like, you didn't get a letter? He's like, no. I went round. Anybody that was still in my classes from that point, the only person that got asked was me. And I remember phoning and going, why didn't you ask anybody else in my class? Because I was just one of those ones, I was just like blunt and wouldn't click that I was asked because I was good. I was like, I'm just like, why was no one asked? And do you know what I mean? What was it? Is it a trap? And they're like, no, we picked you because your poems were always fantastic. And then when the school bullies found out, of course, I got the crap kicked out of me.
Yeah, of course. That's the way you usually.
Just the usual, eh? Yeah. So, what gigs have you got lined up? What for coming through like November, to like the end of the year?
So I've got that one in it's in East Ayrshire. It's Billy Kirkwood's headlining, Chris Thornton's MCing, and they're still needing somebody else to do the middle, which I keep forgetting that I'm opening it, which is a bit scary. I've applied for loads. I keep applying for stuff. The only kind of stuff that I've got kind of concrete is I do a night in Newt Hill. Don't know if any of your followers even know where that is. But yeah, I do them on kind of comedy night in the Village Inn in Newt Hill. We've had like Raymond Mearns was headlining it.
Wow.
We've got Paddy Linton done the first night. He headlined the first night, and then just a lot of really really good acts and stuff. So that's been going good.
Nice one.
Yeah, so that's the kind of concrete one. Every month, if you follow me on Al Thompson Comedy and on Facebook and stuff, and Al_1 and Instagram, I always kind of put the stuff up there. But it's always been really really good lineups. So yeah, it's a bit of a success every night, to be honest. So it's good.
Nice one, man. I'll need to get along and humiliate myself at some point.
Yeah, definitely, man. You're welcome. You can join me because I need to write new material every month, and it's some of it just kind of filter.
Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. But it's like when it comes to like new material, like when you're going to perform it, because this is something that I want to ask King as well. Do you prefer when it's a new material night that there's a lot of audience there, or that there's a limited audience?
That's a good question. You want kind of bigger audiences, I'd say. Just because like I think like I've done jokes that have just died because the room was empty, and then I've never done them again. Yeah. So no, I think the kind of larger scope of people that you've got to perform this stuff to, it might click with one person, it might click with like a group of kind of like older people, and no click with kind of like the younger kind of folk. And then when you go and do gigs and you see those kind of older people in the audience kind of try it out again, kind of stuff. But no, I think that the most kind of demographic you've got, the kind of larger scale of demographic you've got in the room, it's always the best. So yeah, always perform in front of more people. Yeah.
That's an interesting one because I recently did like a new material night. It was with Jimmy Longmuir's crowd.
Yeah,
about the Lincoln Inn. And there was a couple of walk-ins, and the rest was just the comedians. And like Jimmy was beating himself up. Because I know I've been in the same position. Like you beat yourself up because people don't turn up. But I was personally loving it because it was like my first one back since like February of 2023. I was absolutely terrified concerning everything that just went on personal life. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make anybody laugh. I don't know if I'm feeling confident or not, but I was like, at least comedians, well, they'll give you the sympathy chuckle and then they'll tell you afterwards, right, that one landed, that one wasn't too good, like whatever. And I thought, well, that's what I need. I don't need to hear like that dead silence. I just need someone to give me like the wee sympathy, get my confidence up, and then go, you were good. This is just what we'd work on. Yeah, and it went really well. They laughed and they were all like, great to have you back, well done. And I was like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course, there's another new comedy night coming up soon, and I am absolutely shitting myself in case people do turn up. And I'm like, because when it was a junkyard as well, and I'd written some stuff, and I was like, I'm going to test it out. I'm quite confident about it. And I walked in and I clamped completely because the room was actually full. And I was like, holy shit. And I just defaulted straight back to the material that I knew would get laughs because I was so terrified. It's like, how do you combat that though?
I think doing what you've done, like performing it in front of comedians, like Salsa is always really good to try out new stuff. That's where I try out pretty much all my new stuff. Is at Salsa when I get the chance. They're good, and Paddy Linton at Tenants, he's always really good to let me on. So I think it is good there because again, it is like comedians are the majority of the audience, so it's good to like run stuff by them and things like that, and like say like what about this, like what about this, and if it doesn't land, it doesn't land. But there's arguments for both sides, like just doing it in front of like a smaller audience with comedians and obviously a bigger one because they'll laugh or they won't laugh, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that, I think there's kind of arguments for both. You've kind of swayed me a bit, but it's completely nerve wracking getting up and doing like a full kind of new material, because there's been a few. I think the last one I done was where basically a full set was new. Was the Lincoln the last time I done it, and basically the majority of it bombed, and then not long after that I kind of stopped. And then I've took it back up, and now I feel as if I've got like a proper kind of solid 15 to 20 minutes.
Well, that's good.
Which is good. Good for like opening, good for kind of closing. If I don't think I done my own kind of headline show when I was at the Fringe, and then done one in Glasgow at the end of September there as well. So it was like 40 minutes worth of material that I done, which I didn't even kind of know that I had, and it was a really good night. Paddy was hosting that, and Dean Byrne and Bell were there. So having Dean there, I think I'm going to be saying, he supported me at the Fringe as well. I'm going to be saying he's supported me twice, and now he's away. On a world tour or whatever he's doing really well.
He's done fantastic. Like again, like another one that I can be like, because he came on the show as well, and I'm like, hey, I can ride off people's coattails.
Yeah.
Well,
he's doing the Village Inn this week, this month. So on the 24th of October. But
well, definitely. Well, that sounds good. So we are coming up on time, buddy. So I will ask you. Yeah, I know time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
It really does, mate.
I told you I like to make people feel comfortable. That's what I do. That's why people go like, "You're so good at this, man," and I'm like, "Thanks." I guess. So we'll round off by asking the question that I ask all my guests. If you could give one piece of advice to anyone that's struggling with mental health issues at this point in time, what would that piece of advice be, and why?
I mean, it's cliche as it comes, but it's just don't give up. Like, there's been times where I've felt the same way as that, It just kind of felt like nothing would get better. And as much as you don't think about, everything does. It's just, it sounds very cliche, but you just get a good kind of support network round about you, and you feel, if you've got a good kind of support network, you've got a lot of people around about you, you don't feel alone. As soon as you get it off your chest, even saying to them that you need help, and they're there to give you help, it's there's nothing like it. If there's that support network behind you, it's all you against the one bastard thing, and it's your own head. But
well, straight numbers. I know you say it's cliche, but it's cliche because it's true. Well, because everybody says it, so it's like the right answer. And I had Ray Fordyce on, and he'd said one of the things was that if you give that voice in your head the persona, like make it a character, and give it all the worst traits imaginable, it takes that fear out of it. And I remember being told that, thinking, this guy's fucking nuts. Well, but I did it, and it does work. So when Ray said it as well, I'm like, finally. No one's going to think I'm completely nuts. Only 95% nuts. But it is like, yourself, when you get to that point, it's the most difficult thing in the world to open yourself up, because you feel like people are just going to shrug you off, or just going to be like, nah, I'm just no bothering. I mean, sadly, I've learned that the hard way. But it's made me stronger for it as well.
Totally, man.
And it's why I thought, right, if I'm going to do something, get back to doing this, what I do for a final season, I want to go out in a high. I want to get back to the balls to the wall madness that it was. And when I reached out, anybody interested, I'm surprised how many people reached out. That floodgate opened up. I know. I was like, holy fuck.
So thanks very much for picking me at the long list.
Everybody that was on the list has got a reach out, whether they come on or not. It's a different story, but because it's a mix of people that are like new, like yourself, or guys that are coming back. So it's something. It's a celebration rather than a commiseration of it. When it means we can, really just go for it. It doesn't mean that I'll never come back again, because the amount of times you'll know it yourself, you go, I'm never going to go back to that, and then you're back doing it. It's like, fuck. It's a never say never situation, but at this point, I'm like. It was when I worked out 178 episodes had been done before I took that break. Sitcoms can't even get to that. And if
No,
they do,
no,
you
that's
know,
nice.
yeah, and if you do, you normally go, right, get old Yeller on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, so I thought instead of going out like just dripping along, let's go out in a high and let's get people on, let's have a laugh and just have the banter that we all love. And what everybody that reaches out, like I'm more than happy to talk to them because you know me, I'm a gab shite. And
Yeah, no, it's been really fun, man.
I appreciate it, man. Like, thank you. And all the best for the gigs that are coming up. Again, just one last time, socials for people to find you.
Well, yeah, so Al Thompson Comedy on Facebook, if anybody even uses Facebook anymore, right enough. And it's Al_Thompson1 on Instagram. And yeah, I think I've got a link on Instagram for the rest of the stuff. Or if not, then I think I'm going to do that now because that's a great idea.
Yep, no worries. And the links will be in the description of this video should you want to check out Al's stuff. And I advise that you do. Well, it's another one that I'm riding off the coattails of to say that I've actually known them when they're famous.
Well, fingers crossed, mate.
Yeah. Hey, we'll all support each other. Well, that's what I'm about. Al, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, man. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me, mate. Really, thank you.
You're welcome, man. And until next time, my faithful followers, take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.